Hello everyone, and welcome all of you in today's session. So, in this session, we are going to start our new chapter, which is nothing but the pharmacodynamic agent. In previous lecture, meaning first lecture, we discussed regarding the classification of drugs according to their pharmacological action, and in that, actually, we classified or we considered the drugs are nothing but the pharmacodynamic agent, then chemotherapeutic agent, then vitamins and hormones. So in this chapter we are going for the detailed study of the pharmacodynamic agent, especially the central nervous system drugs, or commonly known as CNS drug. Previously we considered the pharmacodynamic agents are the drugs used to correct the disorder in physiological functions and restore them to the normal condition. So they just removes or they correct actually the physiological functions and to the normal condition. So these drugs actually taken for getting relief from the symptoms of discomfort by either stimulating or depressing the central nervous system. Means they are actually used to restore the functions such as blood pressure, blood sugar, body temperature, electrolyte, etc. So we can say that the central nervous system drugs are especially modifies or stimulate or depress the central nervous system. Okay, so we are moving towards the CNS drug, which is nothing but the central nervous system drugs. So before going to discuss the central nervous system drugs, anatomically actually the nervous system is made up of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. In this figure you can see here in a blue as well as in yellow color, brain is there and spinal cord is there. So the portion of or the part of the brain as well as the spinal cord is nothing but the central nervous system, or it consists or the central nervous system consists these parts, whereas the peripheral nervous system, the yellow line which blinks actually here, these are the small nerves which are distributed all over the body. These are the part of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, so actually peripheral nervous system consisting of the somatic and autonomic nerve fibers, as well as, and the central nervous system consists of cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla and the spinal cord. Okay, here you can see the section of the brain, figure of the brain. So the central nervous system consists the cerebrum, then cerebellum, then medulla and spinal cord. So these actually the parts are the part of the central nervous system. Functionally, actually the central nervous system consists of billions of the neurons organized from several neuronal systems with nuclei and their tracts. So this is related with the some information related with the central nervous system. So again we are moving towards the CNS drug. Actually central nervous system drugs are classified in according to their pharmacological activity. Okay, so first classification is a CNS depression. These depress the central nervous system, or the drug which depress the central nervous system, we considering it as a CNS depressant. The next one is a CNS stimulant. Name itself indicates that it stimulates the central nervous system. Okay. And next one is a CNS modifiers, which modifies the central nervous system or regulates the central nervous system. Regarding the CNS depressants are classified into two categories. One is a non-selective CNS depressant and selective CNS depressant. Non-selective CNS depressant and selective CNS depressant. Actually, the non-selective CNS depressant produce generalized depression action, means not for the specific body part. General depression action is given by the non-selective CNS depressant. Whereas regarding the selective CNS depressant, they selectively depress the certain region or the portion of the central nervous system. Okay. So regarding the non-selective CNS depressant, hypnotics and sedatives are considered as a non-selective CNS depressant. Then general anesthetics, especially given for the operative purpose, is included in a non-selective depressant. Then central muscle relaxants are also comes under the category of the non-selective CNS depressant. And regarding selective CNS depressant, it includes the analgesics, then anticonvulsants type of the drug. Regarding the CNS stimulant which actually stimulates and reactivate the central nervous system. Stimulate as well as the reactivate the central nervous system. The CNS stimulants are used for variety of purpose. Either for the treatment like the depression of the state, maintenance of the wakefulness, then restoration of the respiration as well as the blood pressure, as well as the restoration of the normal reflexes. Okay. So this activity or these functions is given by the CNS stimulant. CNS stimulants are includes the cerebral stimulant, which stimulate only the cerebral part, then respiratory stimulant, then analeptic stimulants, and then psychomotor stimulant. Cerebral stimulant, respiratory stimulant, analeptics, and psychomotor stimulants. Then regarding the CNS modifier, these are the drugs actually employed in the treatment of mental disorder. Means the person which is suffering from mental disorder will be treated by using the CNS modifier. Actually, they produce a specific improvement in a mood and behavior of the patient. So we are familiar with some patients which having some mental disorder. They are behaving abnormally. There is a up and rise in the mood, maybe in some depression mode, maybe in a stimulation mode. So actually these drugs modify the system or modify the central nervous system to create a proper mood as well as the behavior of the patient. It includes major tranquilizers. Actually, they are used to reduce the agitation and disturbed behavior. They are used to reduce agitation and disturbed behavior which are associated with delusion and hallucinations in schizophrenia. The schizophrenic persons feeling some anxiety. A schizophrenic person behaves differently. So to remove this type of the we can say that symptoms from that particular patient, the major tranquilizers are used, and that's why these major tranquilizers are also known as antipsychotic drugs. Antipsychotic drugs. Next category is nothing but the minor tranquilizers. Minor tranquilizers are actually anti-anxiety agent. Anti-anxiety agent means what? They actually produce the calm effect or the calming effect in the patient. Anxiety means fear. Some persons सतत कसली तरी भीती वाटत असते अशा माणसांना, किंवा असे जे पेशंट्स आहेत त्यांना सतत कसली तरी भीती वाटत असते, म्हणून त्यांना झोप लागत नाही आणि मग ते सारखे वळवळत, किंवा आपण म्हणू की त्यांना शांतपणे झोप लागत नाही. इवन दो इन आपण म्हणू की रेग्युलर कंडिशन मध्ये सुद्धा त्यांना कशाची तरी सतत भीती वाटत राहते. सो टू रिमूव्ह दॅट टाइप ऑफ द फिअर ऑर द एन्झायटी, these minor tranquilizers are used. Okay. Then moving towards the concept of hypnosis, sedation and anesthesia. What is mean by the hypnosis, sedation and anesthesia? We are familiar with the hypnotics, means some person ज्याला आपण मॅजिशियन असं म्हणतो, किंवा मेनी टाइम्स द हिप्नॉटिक ट्रीटमेंट करणारा माणूस असतो. तो काय करतो, आपल्याला हिप्नॉटिक ऍक्शन करतो. सो व्हॉट इज मीन बाय द हिप्नॉसिस, व्हॉट इज मीन बाय द सिडेशन, व्हॉट इज मीन बाय द anesthesia? So we are going to discuss here. Okay. So actually the sedation and hypnosis are close related terms. एकमेकाशी फार जवळचं नातं असलेल्या, किंवा आपण असं म्हणू शकतो एकमेकाशी रिलेट असलेल्या टर्म्स आहेत. इन बोथ केस ऍक्च्युअली द सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टीम इज डिप्रेस्ड, किंवा सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टीम आहे ती डिप्रेस केली जाते. A hypnotic actually is a drug which produces the sleep. Hypnotic is a drug which produces the sleep resembling natural sleep. म्हणजे हिप्नॉटिक काय करते, नॅचरल स्लीप प्रोड्यूस करते. Whereas sedative is just produce the mild depression and calm anxiety without causing drowsiness or impaired performance. Means झोप येण्याची प्रोसेस, किंवा आपण असं म्हणू शकतो की झोपेसाठी आपण म्हणून प्रवृत्त करण्याचं काम कोण करतं, तर सिडेटिव्ह करतात. आणि हिप्नॉटिक आहेत, हिप्नॉटिक काय करतात की त्यांना नॅचरल स्लीप आहे ती येऊ देतात. म्हणजे स्लीप की आपण म्हणू की झोप येण्याची जी प्रवृत्ती आहे, किंवा झोप ज्याला येत नाही त्याला झोप येण्यासाठी प्रवृत्त करायचं काम कोण करतं, सिडेटिव्ह करतं. आणि हिप्नॉटिक मात्र त्याला थोडं त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त डिप्रेशन करतं, so that patient will get the proper or natural sleep. Okay. Regarding the actually the anesthesia completely removes, or we can say that reduce or completely nullify the sense. So that's why anesthesia is given in operative condition. It may be the local anesthesia or it may be the general anesthesia. If small operation is there, then local anesthesia is given, and if a major operation is there, then general anesthesia is given. आपल्याला माहिती असेल की आपण दात रिमूव्ह करण्यासाठी किंवा आपण दाढ काढण्यासाठी म्हणून डॉक्टरकडे जेव्हा जातो, म्हणजे सगळेच जण जात असतील असा भाग नाही, पण the person who actually going for the treatment of the tooth, the local anesthesia is actually injected into the gum. ज्या दाताला ट्रीटमेंट करायची आहे, जो दात रिमूव्ह करायचा आहे, तिथे त्याच्या आजूबाजूला शेजारी गम मध्ये काय करतो डॉक्टर, लोकल अॅनास्थेशिया आहे तो इंजेक्ट करतो, आणि मग तेवढा भाग आहे तो बधीर होतो. म्हणजे थोडक्यात बधीरपणाची जी ऍक्शन आहे इज नथिंग बट द अॅनास्थेशिया. ओके. So one by one actually we are going for the various stages. First one is the sedation. Sedation मी already तुम्हाला सांगितलं, sedation is nothing but the we can say that it just reduces or it just gives the mild depression and calm the anxiety. Okay. Next step is sedative. Sorry, next after that sedation, next one is hypnosis. So hypnosis is nothing but the stage where the patient or the person is getting the natural sleep. म्हणजे तो नॉर्मली किंवा नॅचरल स्लीपने तो माणूस आहे तो झोपी जाऊ शकतो, जे औषध घेतल्यानंतर त्याला म्हणतो आपण हिप्नॉटिक्स, आणि ती जी प्रोसेस आहे त्याला म्हणतो आपण हिप्नॉसिस. ओके. एन्झायटी कमी झालेली असते आणि त्याला रेग्युलर झोप येऊ शकते. नेक्स्ट इज नथिंग बट द अनास्थेशिया, म्हणजे बधीर करणे. आपण म्हटलं लॉस ऑफ द सेन्सेशन, बॉडी पार्ट, स्मॉल बॉडी पार्ट किंवा आपण म्हणू होल बॉडी, याचं सेन्सेशन घालवलं इज नथिंग बट द अनास्थेशिया. If further depression takes place, means if the further depressing action जर का झाली, the man, or we can say that the human being goes into the coma. In anesthesia and in a coma, there is a slight, actually we can say that small boundary line between the anesthesia and coma. In anesthesia, when the anesthesia is removed, or anesthesia condition is for small time, so when it gets removed, then patient is come out from the anesthetic condition. Regarding the coma, brain is completely not working. Brain is completely depressed condition, it is not working. So person is actually in a coma condition, is like we can say that की फक्त पेशंट आहे की जो कोमा कंडिशन मध्ये आहे, त्याचा ब्रेन आहे तो डेड झालेला असतो किंवा ब्रेन आहे तो पूर्णपणे थांबलेला असतो, त्याला काहीही सेन्सेशन होत नाही, फक्त त्याचं हृदय आहे किंवा आपण म्हणू की त्याचा श्वासोश्वास जे आणि त्याचं हृदय आहे ते चालू राहतं. याचं कारण काय की दिस सेन्सेस, म्हणजे हृदय चालू राहणं आणि श्वासोश्वास चालू राहणं, दिस सेन्सेस आर ऑटोनॉमिक सेन्सेस, म्हणजे ऑटोमॅटिक चालू असतात ते, त्याला काय कुठली ऑर्डर ब्रेन द्यायला लागत नाही. अदरवाइज प्रॉब्लेम झाला असता की वेन पेशंट गोज इन टू द कोमा कंडिशन, देन पेशंट विल बी नॉट मोर ओके आफ्टर दॅट कंडिशन. अँड आफ्टर द कोमा नेक्स्ट कंडिशन कम्स विच इज नथिंग बट द डेथ. ओके. So mild depression is nothing but the sedation. If we increase the level of depression, then we considering that condition as a hypnosis. If we again increasing the depression state or the condition of the depression, then that condition is nothing but the anesthesia, and depression level is too much than the coma. Okay. And finally, if the extra depression is there or extra depression is occurred, then man, due to the brain dead condition, man goes or man will be no more for further. Okay. So these are the stage. So from sedation to hypnosis, this process is reversible. This process is also reversible, means hypnosis to anesthesia, anesthesia to coma, or coma to anesthesia, both are the reversible, but coma to death is not reversible process. Okay. So this is actually the concept of the hypnosis, sedation and anesthesia. Okay. So we moving towards the next point. You are getting just idea regarding the sedative and the hypnosis. Sedative means it just actually drug that reduce excitement, calms and patient without inducing sleep. बघा आपण बघतो की इथे दिसेल आपल्याला की जांभई देणारा आहे, मीन्स ऍक्च्युली इज फिलिंग की आता आपल्याला झोपलं पाहिजे. ओके. सो सम सिम्पटम्स चालू झालेले आहेत त्याला की तो आता झोपेल, आणि हिअर इज अ काम, इट इज अ शांतपणे नॅचरल स्लीप घेतो. इज इज नथिंग बट द हिप्नॉटिक कंडिशन. ओके. Actually, if the more dose of the sedative, it gives the hypnotic action. More dose of the sedative gives the hypnotic action, whereas the low dose of the hypnotic also gives the sedative action. So because there is a small, or we can say that a very narrow boundary line between these two conditions. Okay, then regarding the anesthesia. We just discussed the general anesthesia or the local anesthesia. Okay, the types of anesthesias are stage 1 anesthesia, then stage 2nd anesthesia, then stage 3rd anesthesia, and then stage 4 anesthesia, which is nothing but the respiratory paralysis or medullary paralysis. So regarding the stage 1 anesthesia, actually stage 1 anesthesia is accompanied by mild depression of higher cortical centers. ब्रेन मधली हायर कॉर्टिकल सेंटर्स आहेत, त्याचं माइल्ड डिप्रेशन केल्यानंतर स्टेज 1 अनास्थेशिया येतो. दॅट्स व्हाय इट्स कॉल्ड ॲज अ एनाल्जेशिया also. Stage 1 is also called as a analgesia because the mild depression of the higher cortical centers. This stage actually is suitable for surgical procedures not requiring extensive muscular relaxation. म्हणजे आपण बघतो की हा जो अनास्थेशिया आपल्याला दिला जातो, याच्यामध्ये मसल्स आहेत ते रिलॅक्स व्हायला नको आहेत. मसलला काही फार काही रिलॅक्समेंट नाही झाली तरी चालेल, त्याची जी मुवमेंट्स आहे ती मेंदू कंट्रोल करत असला किंवा रेग्युलेट करत असला तरी चालेल. इन दॅट केस ऍक्च्युअली सच अ टाइप ऑफ अनाल्जेसिक कंडिशन इज रिक्वायर्ड, त्याला आपण अनाल्जेसिया म्हणतो. स्टेज 2 अनास्थेशिया इज ऑल्सो कन्सिडर ॲज अ delirium. It is known as a delirium. In this actually patient loses the consciousness. It loses consciousness as a result of, we can say that, the depression of cortical motor center resulting in possible extensive involuntary activity. Means we just only keep in mind that it depress the cortical motor centers. In previous we considered that it depress or it mildly depress the higher cortical centers, but here depression of motor centers. Okay, next one is actually category is the stage 3rd anesthesia, and it is a common for in a surgical condition. Actually during the surgical procedure there is a progressive increase in depth of anesthesia in a following order: loss of spinal reflexes, then muscle decrease in the muscle reflexes, then paralysis of intercostal muscles, and finally disappearance of muscle tone. So these are the stages occur during the surgical anesthesia. Okay, next category is a respiratory paralysis or medullary paralysis. In actually medullary or respiratory paralysis, actually this condition is a we can say that the problematic or harmful condition. More correctly we can refer this respiratory paralysis as toxic or overdose stage involving respiratory and vasomotor cessation. म्हणजे vasomotor and respiratory जी सिस्टीम आहे ती सीज होते, म्हणजे थांबते. and this stage when surgical operation is carried out. This stage occurs actually when surgical operations are carried out. But if this stage is not recovered, then patient may go into the coma. So in critical operations only such a type of actually anesthetic condition is created by the doctor in especially in monitoring of a special person. ज्याला आपण म्हणतो अनास्थेशियन, किंवा आपण जो डॉक्टर आहे, जो अनास्थेशिक डॉक्टर आहे, तो त्याच्या ऑब्झर्वेशन खाली या अशा टाईपची कंडिशन क्रिएट केली जाते. नेक्स्ट वी आर मुव्हिंग टुवर्ड द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ दी CNS ड्रग बेस्ड ऑन फार्मॅकोलॉजिकल ऍक्शन. आपण त्याचं क्लासिफिकेशन बघितलं होतं. आता जस्ट वी आर कन्सिडरिंग द फार्मॅकोलॉजिकल ऍक्शन वरती त्यांची वेगवेगळी जी क्लासिफिकेशन आहेत ते आपण वन बाय वन आहे ते आपण वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस हियर. ओके, सो फर्स्ट क्लास इज डायलेंटिन हेडोंटाइन. फर्स्ट क्लास इज नथिंग बट डायलेंटिन हेडोंटाइन and example is a phenytoin. Example is one chemical compound which is used is nothing but a phenytoin. Okay, so when we considering the hedontine, this hedontine, the structure of hedontine is in front of you. So two carbonyl groups are there, then one nitrogen, another nitrogen, here the one alkyl or aryl group, and here R1 and R2 is there. So this is a general structure of dilantin hedontine. Regarding the phenytoin, only the difference is these two R1 and R2 are the phenyl rings, and this R3, which is nothing but the H, means here no alkyl or aryl group. Both these are the NH and NH. So this is a structure for the phenytoin. Especially the phenytoin is used for treatment of types of the epilepsy. Epilepsy म्हणजे माहिती आहे तुम्हाला, epilepsy is nothing but the fit येते काही जणांना, फिट आली म्हणतो आपण, किंवा त्याला आपण अचानक हात मुठी अशा वळून ज्या लोकांना बेशुद्ध होतात त्यांना आपण फिट येते असं म्हणतो. ओके, सो टू ट्रीट सच टाइप ऑफ द पेशंट्स स्पेशली द phenytoin type of the drugs are used. Another application is it is useful for treating cardiac arrhythmia, especially induced by digitalysis, especially induced by digitalis. Means cardiac arrhythmia means actually there is some irregulation in a cardiac system, and it is one symptom, or we can say that it is one factor related with actually the epilepsy is also treated by the phenytoin. Okay, so this is actually the uses of the phenytoin. So also definitely it gives the side effect. So one by one we are considering the side effect. First one is the dizziness. Dizziness means थोडंसं ग्लानी येणारी कंडिशन इज नथिंग बट द डिझिनेस. म्हणजे एखादा माणूस ग्लानीतच राहतो, आपण असं म्हणतो की इज नॉट अलर्ट वन, थोडासा स्लो मोशन मध्ये असेल किंवा थोडासा अनइझी फील करत असेल, दिस कंडिशन इज नथिंग बट द डिझिनेस. देन नेक्स्ट वन इज इचिंग, म्हणजे त्याला शरीराला किंवा स्किनला कुठेतरी खाज येऊ शकते ऍज अ साइड इफेक्ट म्हणून. नेक्स्ट वन इज स्किन रॅशेस. त्याच्या पुढची केस आहे की इचिंगची रिलेटेड असणारी, की स्किन वरती काही दागी उठू शकतात, काही रॅशेस येऊ शकतात, ज्याला खाज येऊ शकते, असे काही सिम्पटम्स phenytoin दाखवतो. नेक्स्ट वन इज वॉमिटिंग विथ ब्लड विजन. वॉमिटिंग माहिती आपल्याला काय होतं की ओकारी येते, वॉमिटिंग होतं, अँड ब्लड विजन मीन्स थोडंसं अंधुक दिसतं, की याच्या इफेक्ट मध्ये जेव्हा पेशंट असेल, की ह्या ड्रगच्या ट्रीटमेंटमध्ये जेव्हा पेशंट असेल तेव्हा त्याला थोडं अंधुक दिसतं, विजन आहे ती त्याची प्रॉपरली क्लिअर नसते. अँड नेक्स्ट वन इज इन एक्स्ट्रीम कंडिशन मे द फिवर किंवा पायरेक्झिया ज्याला म्हणतो आपण, तो सुद्धा येऊ शकतो. सो दिस इज रिलेटेड विथ द फर्स्ट क्लास विच इज नथिंग बट द डायलेंटिन हेडोंटाइन. ओके, so I think here the idea related with the structure as well as the uses and side effect is clear. So I'm moving towards the next class, which is nothing but the oxazolidine diones. Example is nothing but the trimethadione. It's also called as a tridone. Trimethadione is also the generic name, and tridone is we can say that is a synonym for the trimethadone. Okay, structure बघूया आपण त्याचं. The structure of tridone or trimethadone is in front of you. The structure is the general structure in R1 and R2 is here. Okay, so R1 and R2 and R3 are different one here. So R1, R2 and R3, or the structure is remaining as it is. Means the substituent R1, R2 and R3 may be the variable one, but general nucleus is the common, and which is nothing but the oxazolidine dione. And if the R1, R2 as well as R3, all these three substituents are methyl, then we considering this compound as a trimethadione. We consider this compound as a trimethadione or tridone. Okay. Two carbonyl groups are here, one oxygen atom, and 5-member ring is here. Okay, and along with we can say that here the nitrogen as a heteroatom. So nitrogen and oxygen is a heteroatom. Two carbonyl groups are there, and one end which is actually we can say that which is a sp3 hybridized carbon atom. Is having two substituent, and sp3 hybridized nitrogen having one substituent, and in methadione all these three substituents are the methyl group, and that's why trimethadione or trimethadone. ON is related with the ketonic group, but it's not specifically the IUPAC nomenclature. It is a generic name. Okay. Next, we are moving towards the uses of this drug. Especially, it is used in used as an anticonvulsant in a treatment of grand mal epilepsy. इपिलेप्सी म्हणजे फिट येण्याचे प्रकार आहेत की काही जणांना अर्ली एज मध्ये, म्हणजे आपण म्हणू की एका 15 वर्षापर्यंत जी लहान मुलं आहेत त्यांना काही वेळेला फीट येत असते, आणि काही जणांमध्ये तो सिम्पटम आहे तो त्याला आयुष्यभर राहतो. त्याच्यावरून त्याचे दोन टाईप आहेत, ग्रँड माल एपिलेप्सी अँड पेटिट माल एपिलेप्सी. सो इन ग्रँड माल एपिलेप्सी ऍक्च्युअली दिस टाइप ऑफ ड्रग्स आर युज्ड ओके फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ ग्रँड माल एपिलेप्सी. नेक्स्ट वन इज इन कॉम्बिनेशन विथ फिनिटॉइड. जो पहिला ड्रग आपण बघितला त्याच्याबरोबर इट इज युज्ड टू ट्रीट द पेटिट माल एपिलेप्सी ऑल्सो. म्हणजे ग्रँड माल एपिलेप्सी मध्ये सोलली हा कंपाऊंड वापरला जातो, आणि अलॉंग विथ पहिला बघितला आपण जो फेनिटॉइन, त्या फेनिटॉइन बरोबर हा कॉम्बिनेशन मध्ये पेटिट माल एपिलेप्सीला सुद्धा यूज केला जातो. These compounds or this drug also having side effect, and these side effects are we can say that somewhat similar actually to the effect of फेनिटॉइन. जे फेनिटॉइन जे इफेक्ट दाखवतं तेच इफेक्ट या केस मध्ये सुद्धा मिळतात. साइड इफेक्ट आहेत, रॅशेस येतात स्किन वरती. देन डर्मॅटिटिस मीन्स शिबलं. आपल्याला माहिती आहे की आपल्या शिबला प्रकार माहिती असेल सगळ्यांना की पॅचेस येतात, व्हाईट कलरचे पॅचेस येतात, त्याला डर्मॅटिटिस म्हणतात. ते पॅचेस येऊ शकतात, अँड देअर ऍक्च्युअली सम फंगल ग्रोथ मे ऑकर. ब्लड डिस्क्रॅसिया, ब्लड मध्ये काही आपण म्हणू की त्याची जी प्युरिटी आहे ती कमी होते. ओके, अँड इफ एक्सेसिव्ह डोस इज टेकन देन मे इट क्रिएट्स द डॅमेज टू द किडनी. ओके, अँड नेक्स्ट वन इज हेपॅटायटिस. इट इज समवॉट ऍक्च्युअली द overdose of this trimethadione may create some problems like the hepatitis. म्हणजे किडनीला जसं डॅमेज करतं तसं लिव्हरला सुद्धा प्रॉब्लेम होऊ शकतो, ज्याला आपण हिपॅटायटिस म्हणतो और कावीळ म्हणतो. म्हणजे लिव्हरचं फंक्शनिंग आहे ते इनप्रॉपर होतं किंवा लिव्हरचं फंक्शनिंग की लिव्हर प्रॉपरली फंक्शन करायचं बंद करू शकतो इफ ओव्हरडोस ऑफ दिस टेकन. ओके, सो दिस इज रिलेटेड विथ द जस्ट uses or the application of trimethadione as well as the side effect. Okay, so we are moving towards actually one synthesis of the trimethadione. Okay, so moving towards the synthesis of the trimethadione. So starting material is known to you, which is nothing but it is a ketone, and name of this ketone we well known with this compound, which is nothing but acetone. So when it treated with the hydrogen cyanide, addition reaction takes place. Means what happen? H will be added to this O, because when we considering the reactivity of the carbonyl group, due to more electronegative oxygen atom, oxygen carries delta negative charge and this carbon carries delta positive charge. So when the addition reaction takes place, the positive part of the reagent will be added to O and the negative part will be added to this carbon atom. So when the reaction is carried out with the hydrogen cyanide of especially the acetone, H will be added to this O and it becomes OH, and the cyanide group or CN group will be added to the carbon. Okay, so we are getting the product which is nothing but the cyanohydrine. Okay, CN is here and OH is here. Okay, so when this cyanohydrine actually is treated with the H2SO4 and C2H5OH, cyanohydrine when treated with the C2H5OH along with the H2SO4, first thing happens, this CN group will be converted to, in presence of H2SO4, the hydrolysis takes place. Hydrolysis of cyanide group takes place. So this cyanide group will be converted to COOH group, and when this acid is treated with this ethyl alcohol, what's happen? Acid and alcohol, the reaction is nothing but the esterification. So it will be converted to C double bond O and O C2H5. C double bond O and O C2H5. So here the structure will comes out. What's happened? Two CH3 groups, previously OH is there, and this cyanide group first converted COOH, and when esterification takes place, this H is replaced here. Okay, and when H is replaced, what's happened? C2H5 group will be added here, and we are getting corresponding ester. So when this actually ester is treated with urea, when this ester is treated with urea, simple type of condensation reaction takes place. Simple type of condensation reaction means what? This C2H5 and O along with one hydrogen from this NH2 will be removed, and there will be linkage as like this CNH, then C double bond O NH2. Okay, with the removal of C2H5OH. Okay, so after the removal of C2H5OH, we are getting this compound. Okay, what's happened? NH from this NH2, one H is removed, and this OC2H5. So C2H5OH group will be removed here, and we are getting such a type of structure. Okay. In next step, actually, when heat is given to this compound, when heated, what's happened? This NH2 and one of the H from this O, which is a terminal OH group, is removed as a NH3, and here the cyclization takes place. So CO and CO means here the COC type of bond formation takes place, and we are getting actually the corresponding structure. Okay, so now we require actually we are going to synthesize the trimethadione. So previously we considered the structure of trimethadione in which what there is a one CH3 group, another CH3 group, and this N is also associated with the another CH3 group. So next step will be what? We have to introduce one CH3 group here. So for that, this compound is treated with the dimethyl sulfate in presence of NaOH. It is treated with the dimethyl sulfate in presence of NaOH, so that H will be removed here and we are getting the compound which is nothing but the trimethadione. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 methyl groups are introduced here. Okay, so this is exactly the synthesis of the trimethadione with the few steps. Okay, so with this synthesis I am going to conclude actually today's lecture. Again, thank you all of you for your patience listening. With next lecture we are coming with the another points of this chapter. Okay, so again thank you all of you. Thank you.